This is your News Source Evening Bulletin for today, September 18, 2018. Here's what we're tracking. Retired Chancellor of the Judiciary, Justice Cecil Kennard, was this afternoon sworn in as the chairman and lone member of a commission of inquiry that will be examining the Georgetown City Council and its operations. The commission is being set up by the Local Government Commission and comes on the heels of a ton of complaints from citizens and businesses about the operations of City Hall. Justice Kennard spoke to the media about the area of focus.
What we are dealing with the performance of the City Council alone, and in particular the town clerk.
The Local Government Commission said over the course of several months, it has deliberated on the complaints received on the administration and operations of the Mayor and City Council, and a unanimous decision was taken at the Commission's 17th statutory meeting back in April to have the matter thoroughly examined by way of establishment of a commission of inquiry. The terms of reference of the commission include a mandate to investigate the administration and operations of the mayor and city councillors of Georgetown. The reason for and the process by which a motion of no confidence on the town clerk was dealt with by the mayor and councillors of the city of Georgetown, and generally to investigate any matter that may be brought to the attention of the commissioner during the inquiry that would adversely affect the administration and operation of the municipality of Georgetown. Members of the public who may wish to engage the Commission of Inquiry are advised to do so by calling telephone number 687-9341. More news in a moment.
We can do more with love. We can share strength with love. We can sail off to something beautiful. Yeah, all I need is more of you. All you need is more of me. Our love is all that we need. Yeah, I wanna love, wanna love, wanna love, wanna love, wanna love you right. Gotta let it love, let it love, let it love, let it love for the coldest nights. I wanna love, wanna love, wanna love, wanna love, wanna love you right. Gotta let it love, let it love, let it love, let it love for the coldest nights. So can we?
Welcome back. Under heavy police guard, a 16-year-old youth from Buxton appeared in court this morning and was slapped with the charge of murdering 72-year-old Annandale resident Krishna Chand Dabi. The youth was immediately remanded until October, when the case will continue. Dressed in a t-shirt with his school pants, the accused walked into the Cove and John Magistrates Court and was not required to enter a plea as he appeared before Magistrate Peter Hume. The court was told that on the 27th of August at Lot 149 Annandale, East Coast, Demerara, the teenager brutally murdered the elderly man during a raid of the man's house. Reports suggest that the youth was part of a gang of teens that raided the man's house. Dabi was discovered dead after family members decided to check on him. His battered body was found on the floor of the house. Another youth is expected to face charges in connection with the same crime. Still in the courts, 3 days after an all-boys town woman was busted at Jagdeo International Airport with cocaine in the false side of her suitcase, she appeared in court this morning along with her alleged recruiter to face drug trafficking charges. 35-year-old Shelon Yolanda Barrow of Victoria Street, All-Boys Town, along with the alleged recruiter 37-year-old Chrissy Latoya Griffith, both denied the drug trafficking allegations that were read to them by the chief magistrate. Griffith is a hairdresser. According to the charge sheet, on the 15th of September at the Jagdeo Airport, Barrow was nabbed with 1.638 grams of cocaine in the false side of her suitcase for the purpose of trafficking. The court was further told that between the 14th and the 15th of September 2018, at the Sunset Hotel in Kitty, Chrissy Griffith aided Barrow in the quest to transport the drugs. Kanu's prosecutor Connie Sandifer told the court that the exchange between the two women were caught on camera at the hotel, and Barrow offered a statement to the Kanu agents that detailed the entire transaction and cocaine trafficking effort. Both women were remanded to jail until next week. Let's tell you now that the Ministry of Foreign Affairs has announced that Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi will lead a delegation on a visit to Guyana on Friday the 21st and Saturday the 22nd of September. The Chinese Foreign Minister will meet with President David Granger and Vice President and Minister of Foreign Affairs Carl Greenidge during his visit. Those meetings will deal with the exchange of views on bilateral cooperation and to discuss areas of mutual interest. Guyana and China established diplomatic relations back in 1972. Mr. Wang Yi was appointed Minister of Foreign Affairs in 2013. Since joining the Chinese Foreign Service after completing his studies at the Beijing Second Foreign Language Institute in 1982, he has held a number of posts, including as Vice Minister of Foreign Affairs and Ambassador to Japan. Opposition leader and former President Jagdeo invoked presidential immunity on Monday as he appeared before the Special Organized Crime Unit. Mr. Jagdeo was at Sokou to answer questions related to his former government's decision to transfer and sell state property to some of its own members at below market value prices. As Mr. Jagdeo headed into the interview yesterday with his attorneys, he said he was there willingly. But less than 30 minutes later, he emerged with his lawyer who told reporters that as a former president, Mr. Jagdeo had invoked presidential immunity, which according to his attorneys allows him not to face questions and investigations about decisions he would have made while serving as president. Article 182(1) of the Constitution states that subject to the provisions of Article 180, the holder of the office of president shall not be personally answerable to any court for the performance of the functions of his or her office or for any act done in the performance of those functions, and no proceedings, whether criminal or civil, shall be instituted against him or her in his or her personal capacity in respect thereof, either during his or her term of office or thereafter. Jagdeo has accused Sokou of taking political directives from the government. The unit has in the past denied that claim. Sokou is probing the sale of the sprawling seaside land at Sparadam, also known as Pradoville 2. The land was transferred to the Central Housing Authority under the Jagdeo government, and hundreds of millions of dollars was spent to develop the area that would later be sold to Jagdeo and other former government officials at prices that were far below market prices. And finally tonight, Guyana's Minister of Public Security Kamraj Ramjatan has expressed concern about the country's alcohol consumption problem, and he believes it has become more serious because young people are being introduced to alcohol at an early stage in their lives. Some surveys have indicated that the age of alcohol initiation in Guyana is roughly around 11 years old. During the opening of a training program hosted by the Customs Anti-Narcotics Unit, the Public Security Minister said Guyana has got to look at how it cultivates the next generation.
It is important that we understand that we now must cut that habit out. I have spoken on other occasions as to what may be causing this habit to be within our communities, and it has to do largely with how we cultivate our next generation. We sometimes feel that we could tell our young kids, come, take a little drink. And we have done 2 surveys, a school survey and a household survey, that proves that children in Guyana start drinking at the age of 11, and that we Guyanese are the biggest binge drinkers in the entire Caribbean. When we take 1, we want 2, then we want 3, then we want 4 and 5 and so on, and then we get drunk.
Mr. Ramjatan also stated that drinking habits contribute to other social issues, including domestic violence and other forms of violence and substance abuse. He noted that the government has been making efforts to remedy the issues by implementing the 2 a.m. curfew that was not well received by the general public, especially the young people. Just recently, President David Granger described the abuse of alcohol as one of the evils facing Guyana. He said the government intends to put more systems in place to tackle alcohol abuse. And that's your News Source Evening Bulletin for tonight. I'm Alana Bose.